Hi YouTube, so it's been 2 weeks since my last garden tour, so it is time for me to give you a quick tour of the garden and show you what has changed, what's growing, what's happening in the garden. Let's get started. Okay, let's start with the container plants. So the wild ALPINE strawberries have started to put off new growth. My mint plants that I harvested have also started to put out new growth, especially the orange, and some of the other varieties are doing better than others. And you can see here is my wild raspberries, and they're starting to grow as well. The blueberry, I don't know if he's gonna survive, but I have hope. All of the berry bushes are doing good. I've been adding the little acid to acidify the soil. So the blueberries are actually starting to put off new growth now, which is very exciting. The figs I have stopped watering every day because I learned that they don't like that, and they are growing a lot faster now. The goji berries have a lot of yellowing, but they have set some fruit. So I have 2 berries growing, and then this plant is flowering. So I should get a couple more goji berries. Over here, this is really exciting. I noticed this yesterday. My ginger has emerged. It's growing. I didn't know if it was going to do anything. And the tomato that's in the same bucket is growing very, very well. So my Jerusalem artichoke did recover from the damage I did to it when I moved it. And let's see what's going on. The hazelnut's growing very well. I repotted some of the herbs that were in my greenhouse. So I have my oregano, 2 sage plants, and then 3 catnips. My pawpaw started to grow. And my scarlet strawberries have been hanging out tons and tons of runners. So I moved them over here. Then I just have a 10-20 flat that I've been draping the runners into so I can collect them and then have lots of berry plants next year. Okay, onto the greenhouse. I started my flats of seeds earlier, I guess last week now, and they have already started to emerge. None in that tray, but down here I have lots of little plants emerging, so that's really exciting. And let me show you. These are my sweet potatoes, and I'm going to be planting these in the ground just as soon as I find a place to plant them in the garden. And then my other herbs back here are doing very well. All of those mint cuttings that I took are growing amazingly well. You can see they have serious root growth. I need to repot them here soon. Yeah, I'm really stoked on that. I'll have lots of mint plants to share with friends soon. Okay, and this container is Chia, my fig tree, who is now 2 years old. And then my borage started flowering this past week. And Chia has started to grow his first fig. So there's 1, 2, 3. We'll get at least 3 figs this year. And it's growing so fast. You can see right here. So this is last year's growth. That's as tall as it got. And we had some pretty hard frost, so I think it killed it all the way back. And it just has sent up all these new shoots, and it's just grown a whole new tree basically this year, which is fine with me. It's just cool to see it, and I'm just so happy that the figs are growing and we'll get some figs. Cannot wait to eat them. Okay, here's bed number 1. The peas are gone. Got some lettuce, a little volunteer squash that will hopefully make it because all my other squash volunteers have died. And what else is exciting? You can see back there my Malabar spinach. I planted that all along this trellis. And my coriander, or my cilantro seeds, are pretty much all drying up, so I need to harvest those. Okay, here's a better shot of the far side of the bed. So right here is my loofah squash, and there are all my different Malabar spinach plants, and they're grown really well. On the far edge right here, I have a moonflower that a friend gave me, and I'm really excited to grow that guy for the first time. Okay, here's the cucumber section of the trellis. So I have one cucumber there, a huge one right here. I need to harvest that guy, and tons of little baby. If I went through and got these guys all separated out and helped them kind of get started up the trellis, and we have just tons and tons of baby little cucumbers all over all of them. So Richard will be eating lots of cucumbers soon. Okay, here is bed number 2, the bean bed. And they're starting to go. A lot of yellowing leaves, lots of Japanese beetles coming and eating them up. A lot of them I'm just letting dry now so I can get some seed to plant in the future. Yeah, but some of them seem like they're still producing a little, like the pencil here's still flowering. Those plants are loaded. I really need to go in and harvest some of those. And then the Cherokees up the trellis here. Okay, and then here's the last beans, the ones that were the slowest to grow, and it's kind of cool to watch them grow because this right here are the pods. Which is real interesting. They're different than all the other beans I've grown this year. Here I can show you a flower. So this is like black-eyed peas. So here's one of the flowers right there. It's like orange, and then it opens up. And here's another one to show you right down there. But yeah, they make these really weird looking pods. Okay, bed number 3. So this is now the tomato bed. This is where I had all that sweet Valentine lettuce that was going to seed. And I did pull all those out yesterday. And I did stake all the tomatoes. And I did some heavy pruning down to single stem on most of them, but I have a hard time really hacking away at them super hard because I just like to watch them grow the way they want to. But yeah, we have a bunch of tomatoes ripening way faster now that I did some good pruning. Some good pear-shaped ones, some bigger tomatoes, and there's some orange cherries back there. These two, something got after and pretty much cleaned them down to the stem, but I'm just curious to see if they continue to grow or not, so I'm just leaving them in there for now. And here's the biggest tomatoes in the garden right now. There's some green zebras. And this plant was the first to begin ripening. Just another little orange cherry. The basil is out of control. I keep on harvesting, and there's still always more basil that needs to be harvested. If you want unlimited basil, just let your basil go to seed and you'll have enough basil to last you and your friends forever. Oh, here's the sunflowers. They have all started to get droopy. There's seed on a lot of them. Let's see. So you can see maybe that we're gonna have sunflower seeds. Yay! Oh, you can see them better in this one. Very exciting stuff. Okay, bed number 4 now. This is where we had all of our greens. A lot of the lettuces are going to seed now. We also have another little volunteer squash, and I'm hoping this one pulls through. And here's the brassicas. There's Selena. Yeah, green onions. Got most of the seed off of them now. Okay, bed number 5. So this is where that potato plant was. There's a lettuce growing there. Some green mustard. The red mustard bolted already. So it's good to know that the green mustard can tolerate the heat better. I have a couple turnips, another couple lettuces coming up, and some purslane, and a volunteer tomato, another volunteer tomato, some radishes there that I planted, the beets, whose greens we've been eating. They're doing pretty good. Here's another volunteer tomato. Starting to get aphids on the lettuces, and that's why I went through and just pulled them all. So maybe I'll do that with that plant as well. Okay, bed number 6. Here's the last of the tomatoes. This one I actually found with tomato hornworm on. It pretty much cleaned it up, but I might get a couple of tomatoes off of it. These nice big tomatoes, some smaller tomatoes. Back there you can see a red one that's almost ready to be picked. I can't remember what variety this is. I'll have to look at my notes, but I really like the shape of the tomatoes. And let's see, we just have some random plants in here. And my cabbages, my poor cabbages. I don't know if they're gonna form heads. They're trying to, so we'll see. See what happens. But I also need to plant those sweet potatoes somewhere, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, here's a quick shot of all of the garden. There we go. Okay, that wraps up today's garden tour. It's amazing to me how much can change in 2 weeks, and how every time I come out to the garden there's a new surprise, something new, something awesome, a new type of insect I've never seen before. So as always, I encourage all of you guys to start a garden. Start growing something, anything, a herb, a tomato plant, because it's the best thing I've ever done. And I really just encourage everybody to start growing just a tiny bit of your own food, because it's better than anything you can get in stores. Alright, see you guys at the next tour. Oh my gosh, look at all these little baby grasshoppers. I thought they were aphids at first. They were all just like climbing up the kale. Pretty darn cute.